What's good, Audiotree lovers? It's me, Psalm 1, global hip-hop treasure and Michelin-starred yapper, back with another fire session, and today is Tuesday, April 29th, 2025. For all my people subscribed to the channel, you know we love y'all, but if you're new to the channel, please smash that little button. More subs equal more great bands pulling up, so hook us up real quick, and while you're at it, follow us on the streaming things like Spotify. Okay, we got all that out the way. Queer punks to the front, because we have Bev Rage and The Drinks here today, slinging some homegrown garage punk for me and you to enjoy. This is brash, bold music for folks not afraid to embrace the very things that make us unique, and we are far too excited to have them here in studio today. So without further yapping, ladies, and gentlemen, please welcome Bev Rage and The Drinks.
Thank you.
Tell the truth for a couple of dollars. I bet you could finally spit it out. Tell the truth for a fist of flowers. Maybe then you'll get your reasonable doubt. And I dare you to get out. Dare you to find somewhere else to shout. To get out. And I dare you to get out.
Hey everybody, I consider myself an extremely smart person, but there's something that confuses me a lot over here at Audiotree. 88% of our viewership is not subscribed to the channel, and that's like crazy to me. So I need a favor from you. If you watch the videos and you love the videos and you're not subscribed, please, it's a free and simple way to support the channel. Just hit that subscribe button. And when you do that, we promise you that we will continue to build this channel out, bring you the best bands, listen to your feedback, honestly, bring the bands that you want to see more here at Audiotree. So make sure you sub up and we can continue to make this the best music channel on YouTube. Yes, yes. We're here with Dan, Beverly, Sam, and Mary Rose, better known as Bev Rage and The Drinks. How we doing today?
Doing great.
Excellent. Thank you
Yes.
for having us.
Thanks for coming. You guys are Chicago's finest. Where are all y'all from in the city?
We are all over. I live up in Andersonville, where all the old gays live.
Yep.
Where do y'all live?
I'm in Humboldt Park.
Logan Square.
I live in the south suburbs where all the straight whites live.
Fun times.
We gotta have one of them.
What keeps you here in Chicago besides the great music scene and, the rising cost of moving
Oh
elsewhere?
my God. I love Chicago personally. I've lived here almost 20 years. I know Mary Rose was born here. The rest of us are transplants, but the music scene is incredible. The food's incredible. We have incredible community here. The queer scene is great. We never intend to leave, I don't think. Well, we'll see what happens in the next 4 years.
We'll see. So I heard in a previous interview, Bev, you were talking about being on kind of a health kick these days. You being healthy?
Can't you tell?
Yes, you look amazing.
I'm snatched, baby.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, so I quit drinking about a year ago. Quit drinking alcohol, I should say. Not quit drinking liquids.
Sure.
But I quit drinking about a year ago. So the Bev Rage and the Drinks mostly means mocktails, overpriced mocktails for me these days. And I've always kind of been a healthy person. I'm not a big snacker generally. So, I just try to keep it going. On the road, though, that can be hard, of course. So
Sure.
I do indulge every now and then. So if you see me eating some Taco Bell, then don't come up to me and be like, "Girl, what you doing?"
I won't say anything.
Okay.
So I should have worn my third best rapper in Chicago t-shirt, but I'm actually second best rapper according to the Chicago Reader. I'm getting a shirt made right now, Y'all won Best Punk Band for 2024's Reader poll. Congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
That's a prestigious honor.
Thank you.
What has changed for y'all since winning?
Everything. It all went to our head. We our guarantee went up to a inconceivable amount. We're getting paid
Can't
so much
afford us.
money to be here today, and nothing's really changed. It's just kind of a great honor to get that from basically our peers, because most of the people that vote in the Chicago Reader poll are musicians and artists and people that really know the music scene here in Chicago. And being voted best punk band and second for best rock band, that's really incredible. And it was a huge honor for us. So we do not take it lightly. We think that it's really important to have a queer, drag-fronted punk rock band as the best punk band in Chicago. And all three bands that were the first, second, and third were all queer bands this year in the best punk category, which is pretty incredible.
That's
considering.
groundbreaking, actually.
And you know what? Drag is punk rock, and punk rock is drag sometimes.
Today it is.
What came first realized for you, Bev? Was it drag or was it punk music?
Yeah, that's a great question. So growing up, I was always kind of a little gender bendy in my life. So I always wore my mom's heels. My first time in drag was for Halloween. I dressed up as my mom. I have the pictures somewhere. And so I've been doing, what is drag? Like, drag is so fluid. Drag is interesting in the way that it doesn't have to be exactly how I do it, and it doesn't have to be how the other person does it. So it's really cool that drag has evolved into this place where, everything is kind of drag. But I've been a musician for about 25 years. I started in my first band that kind of was a serious endeavor when I was about 16 or 17 years old. And I started my first queer band when I was 20 years old in Cleveland, Ohio. And when I moved to Chicago, it took me a little while to really get my footing in the music scene and figure out what I'm doing. So I was kind of doing drag on the side. I wasn't really performing, but I was just kind of playing around with it, learning makeup skills, all that stuff. And I decided, I was like, why do I not combine these interests? Why do I not just combine being a musician and a drag queen? Because I don't see anyone doing it. There really aren't that many that have done it in the history of music. There are some. We're not claiming to be the first, but there's not many doing it. So why not be that band? And as far as I know, there aren't really any in Chicago doing this. But there should be more. There should be more all over the world because it's important.
You might be inspiring the next one right now over here across the screen.
I really hope so. And if you're a young queer person, put a wig on. It's fun. It's hot, but it's fun.
It's hard to eat, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to eat sometimes. I remember I had a long white wig at a show one time, and I wanted to eat a cheesesteak, and I was like, this is just not, it's not happening the way I want it to.
Exactly, yeah. So anytime that I am in drag, I usually don't eat. I'm corseted. I don't want to mess up my makeup. So the band will tell you that if we get like a pre-show meal, mine sits there and gets cold until about 2 a.m. And then I get to like chow down at the hotel.
But then no one else has food but you.
I know, and they're all like ravaging me. They're like, give me that. Especially that one over there, the little drummer.
Oh, come on. Always begging for food.
Yeah. Like, give me some, Bev.
With the popularity of shows like Drag Race, you have like legions of folks who are casual fans and don't know much. But this is a life path and culture for many people.
Yeah.
And I love that you said, what is drag? Because it's like, for sure, rhetorical. But what's a common misconception people have about being a drag performer?
I would say just that. Everybody, because drag is so popular now because of the TV show, I mean, Drag Race is great. Drag Race is a incredible entry point for people to learn about drag, but it is not the end-all be-all of it.
For sure.
And people become like experts from their computer screens on what is drag, how to do it well, what looks good, and they don't realize what goes into it. It takes a lot. And it's not just the makeup or the wigs or the costumes, it's also the performance.
Yes.
You have to be entertaining
to
really succeed in this art. And if you're not entertaining, then what's the point? So I try to do something that is so different from what I'm seeing my peers doing and trying to just, have fun, make the music venues that we play in a safe space for any queer people that want to show up at them. So if there are queer people that are like, I don't know if I feel safe going to like the Empty Bottle or the Metro or something like that, then they're like, oh wait, Bev Rage and the Drinks is playing, so let's go. We know that that's going to be a safe space for us. And that's really what I wanted to do when I started the band, is to just make these places more queer, make them more accepting for people, and have fun. Like, if it's not fun, then what's the point? It can be a protest and fun at the same time.
Absolutely. I think we could talk about this all day, but let's get back into the music.
Do we have to?
Yes, yes. We just heard Missed Connection, a sweet little ditty by none other than Bev Rage and the Drinks. I love that song. It's heavier, in my opinion, than the other tunes on your 2022 album, X's and Hexes. It's such a good closer, so thanks for playing that.
Thank you. It's kind of a lost song. We haven't played it for a little while, so we kind of wanted to bring it back for this.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. A lot of these songs mention an ex-lover or kind of lover, you know, in your catalog. The last time an ex came to my show, I totally hopped off stage and just apologized to her. Just like, you know what? I'm sorry about everything, you know. Do you have any exes at the gig policies?
Hey, anyone can come as long as they buy a ticket. That is perfectly fine with me. Yeah, so that last album, X's and Hexes, came out in 2022, and a lot of it related to kind of like love and curses. So the album cover, we actually hired a witch to consult on it, and all of the imagery in there relates to either curses or love spells, and like all the flowers, all of the imagery. So
Yeah.
it was actually a pretty cool concept whenever we did it, and a lot of the music on it also relates to that, of course.
Yeah.
But I have not seen an ex at my show for quite a while.
That's
but
good, though.
I invite them all to come.
Buy a ticket.
Why not? Buy a ticket, buy a shirt, honey.
Bev, you say you for the most part reserve drag for punk shows, which is great engineering in my opinion. If you were somehow or other summoned for a traditional lip syncing, like big production and performance, what song would you do?
You know, I've never actually, well, that is a lie. I have lip synced a few times in my life, but I have this kind of idea of, and I don't know if the band agrees. Sam is looking at me like, She's like, I don't want to do the work. But of doing like almost like a variety show in a way, like having like big lip sync numbers, having the full band come out, hosting, comedy, magic.
Yeah.
Everybody loves magic.
That variety hour.
And yeah, but as far as a song goes, I am kind of a classic girl. Maybe some like '90s grunge or some like '80s music. But I'm also a big fan of some of the like gay pop. You know, I'm a homosexual,
Well,
so
sure, of
Charlie
course.
XCX. I'll do the Apple dance for you.
Behind the scenes stuff for
Yeah.
extra content.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
Sure.
Right.
Dan, what would be your song?
Ooh, that's tough. The stuff that's in my range is like the Bob Dylans and but no one wants to hear that at a karaoke night. I've busted out a decent Neil Diamond in my time, but you know, I'd stretch my limits. I'd try a Chapel Roan or something
Okay.
along those lines. Maybe Pink Pony Club.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hit them all, but you know,
It's
be fun.
Yeah, it's all about the fun.
Yeah.
Sam, what about you?
Oh, no doubt. Rod Stewart, Young Turks.
Nice. You're not getting away with not answering. What song would you do, Mary?
I said Amy Grant, but I take that back.
Okay.
I would do Eddie Money. Take Me Home Tonight.
All right.
With Ronnie Spector.
I want to see this show. And I would do Mariah Carey, Vanishing. It would be awful, but I would have fun doing it.
What would your drag name be, Psalm?
My real name is Crystal, so it would be Crystal Brawl. Doubles as a roller derby name.
Purpose.
Yeah, multi-purpose name.
Economical.
Yes, exactly. Your writing, you say, goes from like concept to heavy voice noting and then like a demo, and then you bring it to the rest of the band and you get harsh critique from them. And that keeps everything kind of razor sharp. Who is the harshest critic among you? Who's the no person?
Zoom in on Sam's face. I would actually say in the most loving way possible that Sam is the harshest critique, but in a good way.
Sure.
So Sam and I are kind of like writing partners. We've done retreats together, and we make sure that everything is kind of working. So Sam is definitely the harshest critic in the best way possible. I said something nice about you. Mary Rose is harsh in her own way.
You'll never get it again, ever. If you got it on camera, that's
Savor
it.
now.
Exactly, and Dan kind of goes along with it.
Yeah,
our writing process has kind of changed over the years too. It's been it used to be just me writing like the skeletons of the songs, bringing them in, and they wouldn't change all that much. But we've been much more collaborative lately. This lineup in Bev Rage and the Drinks has been around since 2019, and I kind of consider that the beginning of the band in some ways, just because the process has been much more collaborative. We've been working much harder on making our sound a little bit different. So, yeah, I would say that we're all harsh critics of ourselves, but that makes good music.
Yeah, it goes from, you know, good to great when you do that, and critique isn't necessarily a bad word, you know.
Yep.
So a lot of songs specifically scream about or loosely reference hard grinds and pesky capitalism. Besides musician, what's the worst job you've ever had?
Ooh, I've worked in several pet stores in
Okay.
my life. I was in charge of the fish section at a pet store when I was in college. I was about 20 years old. And one day I put the wrong chemical in and killed the entire, because they're all connected.
Oh,
So
yeah.
all of the things are connected and they all have the same chemicals. So I put the wrong chemical and killed the entire shelf of fish. So maybe that's not my worst job. Maybe I was the worst employee.
There is a difference there.
But I also worked at an overnight desk in in my 20s, like at a college, and that was pretty bad too. I'm not a late night girl. Like a lot of
okay.
drag queens stay up late, but I want to be in bed and snoozing by like 10. So that was kind of hard for me.
Anybody else? Anybody else have a bad job worth mentioning?
I was a canvasser for Greenpeace.
Oh.
I probably ignored you on the street at some point.
They probably like spit on me or something.
Oh,
No,
no.
it was
Pretty bad,
harsh. It
right?
was rough. I give canvassers a lot of props. It's a hard job.
Yeah, it's kind of almost like being like a server, and you like you did it once, and now you have like empathy for everyone else who does the
Yeah,
job.
it was rough.
That actually gave me some more empathy for canvassers. I won't.
Yeah.
I'll be like, God bless you, but or I'm just gonna still walk.
Yeah.
How re-radicalized were you all once Orange Man got back into office, and how has your ethos evolved around making this music that's intrinsically political?
Yeah, that's such a heavy question, just because I feel like we've been radicalized since the first time. Because when this band started, we started in 2016, right before the election, and we were trying to almost make a joke out of it at first because we didn't think it would happen. Then it happened.
Right,
And we were
right.
like, oh, fuck, well, now what? And then we had 4 years of reprieve, kind of. I mean, it wasn't
Kinda.
great, but, you know. And then it's happened again. So I'm trying to do everything that I can while still staying sane
Yeah.
myself. So I'm trying to make sure that the art that I create is really accepting and helps out my community in so many ways. I am trying to figure out ways to give back to my community, trying to pull people together in Chicago and just like allow us to kind of breathe for a second. But we're definitely radicalized. It feels ominous and it feels really hard, but there's also so much incredible art being made right now by groups like us, and we can kind of like go around the country or go around the world and just kind of show that there is this like light, and you can come to a Bev show and just kind of like be free at your bar in Alabama at some point. It's really tough though. There's a lot of people that are scared and worried and anxious about this, especially trans people, especially people of color, especially immigrants and women, and it's all just kind of like piling on. So we're trying to figure out how to make our music, do it well, do it with a mission, but also make sure that it's still lighthearted in some way.
Yeah.
So during the AIDS epidemic in the 90s, there was this kind of phrase where we would bury our friends in the morning, we would protest in the afternoon, and we would dance all night. So we try to do those things. We try to grieve, we also try to protest, and we try to have fun. So those are the three things that you have to keep in mind. It's not all just fun, but it can be. Some of it can be. That's what we try to bring.
Are you addressing this in this new music that you've been playing some absolute greatest hits here today, as well as some unreleased jams?
Yeah.
So the next project, are you kind of like bringing in a little bit of those?
It's hard
theories
not
and-
to.
Yeah.
So I write from my heart, and my heart right now it hurts. So it's hard not to. It's
Yeah.
hard not to address these things that are happening in the world. So yes, definitely. But it's also going to be fun, and it's going to be accepting, and it's going to be something that you can dance to. But there's going to be a message behind it. There's always a message behind the music that we write.
Yes, absolutely. Let's get into your next music then.
Great. Thank you.
Mattress shifts like a sinking ship. I got a feeling
This is our last song.
Running on the road down to it. With the gas, but the others are ready to go. Started making plans with the new man. Just as my blood began to flow. I thought I lost my mind last Sunday, but I was in the wrong church. My buddy tells me to run away, but don't me unzip this curse. Made my pardon for your morals. We're too mad to play this game. Too tired for this debate. We're too gay to stroke your shame. I thought I lost my mind last Sunday, but I was in the wrong church. My buddy tells me to run away. Why don't we unzip this curse? Running on the road down to it. Where's the gas? But we got ready to go.
Oh, yes. Remember, kids, queer rock is quintessentially rock music, and don't y'all at home ever forget that. A massive thank you to Bev Rage and the Drinks for joining us today, and as always, major love to our camera ops, engineers, dogs, editors, and artists here at Audiotree, spreading the gospel of live music. These gorgeous folks are playing fests all over Chicago this summer and will surely be on the road more, so get tickets when they're in your area, buy all their merch, and be on the lookout for a new Bev Rage and the Drinks album coming later this year. And like I always say, baby dolls, likes are good, but subscribing to Audiotree means you get these dope videos at the top of your feed as soon as they drop. Get cool merch at audiotree.shop, and if you want just the session audio, you can get it on the streaming things like Apple Music. Finally, follow Audiotree on social media for more fun content. This is Psalm 1 signing off, and remember, y'all, stay dangerous and drive safe. Please. I'll see you next time. Peace.
All right, so you guys want to do it for real now?